Hello student, in our last lecture we have seen that P is prime and P divides the product AB, then P divides A or P divides B, right? And in this lecture we see the generalization of this theorem, that is, if P is a prime and divides the finite product A1 A2 up to AN, then P divides at least one factor AI of the product, that is, P divides AI for some I and where I lies between 1 to n. Okay, so we have to prove that here if P is dividing the product, then P is dividing at least one of the factor from this product, right? Now to prove this, we prove this theorem by the method of induction. What the method of induction says, that we suppose that the theorem is true for n equals to 1. Okay, we prove the theorem for n equals to 1, and we suppose that the theorem is true for n equals to for finite n, and we prove that it is true for n plus 1. Okay, so first we have to prove this here. To prove that P divides A1 A2 up to AN, we prove that P for n equals to 1, the P divides A1. So what we have given that P is prime and dividing this product, given that let P be a prime and P divides the product A1 A2 up to AN. Okay, this is our given. And to prove the theorem, to prove that P divides at least one factor AI of the product, we apply method of induction to prove this, to prove the theorem. Right, we firstly prove that for n equals to 1. So for n equals to 1, then the product is reduces to A1, right? And as P is dividing the product, so for n equals to 1, P dividing A1. Okay, so P divides A1. So the theorem follows trivially. Because here see, our P dividing the product A1 A2 up to AN, and for n equals to 1, we have here for n equals to 1, P is dividing A1 in the given part also. As P is dividing A1, so we have to prove that it is dividing at least one factor. So it is, hence the theorem is trivially followed. Okay, now we suppose that we assume that the theorem is true for some n. Okay, for some finite n. So we assume that the theorem is true for some n belongs to capital N, that is set of natural number. For some n, the theorem is true. Now if the theorem is true for some n belongs to n, we have to prove that the theorem is true for n plus 1, that is some bigger integer than this. Okay, so we consider the product. Now we have to prove that. Now we have to prove the theorem for n plus 1 integer, or n plus 1 which is a natural number. Okay, so we assume that we consider the product of, as here the product is of n numbers, we have to consider the product of n plus 1 number. So we consider the product A1 A2 up to and so on an plus 1 of n plus 1 integers. Okay, so we are considering up to n plus 1 integers. and this and p divides this n plus 1 integer. And we suppose also that, because this is given that, so we suppose p divides the product a1, a2 up to and so on an plus 1, right? So p is dividing this product. Now we have to show that p is dividing at least one of the factors. Okay, so we take this as p divides this a1, a2 up to an plus 1, which is equivalent to what we are saying here, that p divides a1, a2 and so on up an plus 1, which is equivalent to p divides a1, a2 and so on an, we are taking this in bracket, into an plus 1, right? And now from the case that the theorem is true for some n belongs to n, by the method of induction the theorem is true for some n belongs to n. So p is dividing this product, and so by using this we write this a1, a2 up to an as some number, so we can write this a1, a2 up to an as, we write this p divides b into an plus 1, where b is equals to a1, a2 and so on up to an. Okay, now p divides b into an plus 1, and from the theorem that if p divides the product then p divides either of them, right? So from the theorem that, by using the theorem that p divides ab, then this implies p divides a or p divides b. So we use the theorem for this, and thus we have p divides b or p divides an plus 1. Now since p divides b, but by induction hypothesis that we have considered that what we have considered, the theorem is true for some n belongs to n. So this is our b is the product of some finite number of integer up to n. So p divides b implies p divides at least one ai from these factors of the product, right? Because we are assuming in the induction that the theorem is true for n belongs to n. So p divides ai for some I, and where 1 less than I is running from 1 to n. Okay, so from this product there is at least one ai which divides, that is p divides ai. Okay, now from this also, or the condition is what? So the condition is that p divides b or p divides an plus 1. If p divides b, then we have this. If p does not divide b, then we have p is dividing an plus 1. So from these cases, if we combine these two, we get that is, we give this as equation number 1. So equation 1 gives p divides a1, a2 up to an into an plus 1 is equivalent to p divides ai, right? Because from this is up to n. P divides ai, which is 1 less than equals to I less than equals to n. This is up to n, and this is n plus 1. Okay, so combining these two conditions, we have p divides ai, where for some I, that is at least one ai, it divides, and where I is running from 1 less than equals to I less than equals to n plus 1. So the theorem is true for n plus 1 condition. Okay, so what the generalization of the theorem state that if p is a prime and p divides the product, then it divides at least one of the factor from this product, and we say that it divides ai for some I, and this implies that So here we prove this theorem by the induction, and for induction we are assume that for n equals to 1 the result is true. We assume that the theorem is true for some n belongs to n, and thus we apply this assumption for this condition that P is dividing B, where B is some finite product up to n, and thus by the induction we have P divides AI, and hence we combine this result with an plus 1. So we get P divides AI, for this is true for the condition n plus 1, and hence our induction theorem, that is induction method, is followed, and hence we get the proof. Okay, so we complete the proof here. Now there is one more theorem that state that now our theorem is that if P comma Q1 Q2 up to Qn, all these are prime numbers, and P is dividing the product of Q1 Q2 Q3 up to Qn, that is P is dividing the product of all n primes, then P is equals to Qi. P is equals to sum of the prime number, that is P is equivalent to Qi for some I, and this I is running from 1 to up to n. Okay, so if what we have to prove here, that if P is dividing the product, then P is equals to some Qi. Okay, so this is same as this theorem, just only the condition is that here Q1 Q2 Qn are primes, and here A1 A2 up to An are integers. Okay, so we use this here in this theorem, that if P divides the product, then P divides at least one of the factors Ai. Okay, so what we have in the proof, that we let P comma Q1 Q2 and so on up to Qn are B all are prime, and P divides Q1 Q2 up to Qn. This is our given condition. Okay, where each Qi are prime numbers and hence positive numbers, right? Because primes are positive, therefore Qi are all positive integers, right? So by applying this theorem, we get that P divides at least one of Qi. Okay, so by applying this theorem, P divides Qi for some I where 1 less than equals to I less than equals to n. Now using this condition that P divides Qi for some I, but Qi is prime, right? Therefore its divisors are, since Qi is prime, therefore its divisors, the divisors of Qi are 1 and Qi only. Okay, and therefore also P is greater than 1. Okay, and hence P is greater than 1. This implies that P is dividing Qi and P is greater than 1. Okay, so Qi and Qi is prime, right? So P and Q are equal. P equals to Qi. Okay, that is what we have. P is greater than 1 and Qi is equals to 1 into Qi, because Qi is prime, therefore it can be written only in this form. P is dividing Qi. Okay, P is dividing 1 into Qi, right? But P is greater than 1, that is P does not divide 1. Therefore P must divide Qi, and if P divides Qi and Qi is prime, therefore P is equal to Qi is the only possibility for this condition to be true. Okay, so this, if we give this as equation number 1, so this condition 1 implies P is equals to Qi for some I where I is 1 less than equals to I less than equals to n. Okay, so this Therefore, this completes our proof here. And now, as we have seen some of the properties of the prime numbers and some theorem that we are going to use in proving the theorem of the unique factorization theorem. Unique factorization theorem. That is, every number can be written as the factor of the prime. Okay, that is, for example, 24. 24 is 8 into 3. That is 2 into 2 into 2 into 3. So here 2 cube into 3. Okay, so it can be written as the 24 can be written as the prime power factor of the prime. Okay, so in the same way we have to show that the factorization of the prime or number into a prime factorization, we have the theorem that this factorization is unique. Okay, that is, no other factorization can be obtained, or no two factorization can be obtained for the same number. Okay, so we see this theorem in the next lecture. So thank you everyone.